Greetings, Stalker. This is the Vulture, everyone's friend and trusted confidant. You're receiving this transmission because you have been deemed a superior Stalker. But then again, that's not saying a lot, just that you're still alive. Even so, I'm taking my precious time to provide you with all the info you'll need to navigate this brave new world. It's been 13 years since the visit took place. The visit, if you are still in the dark, was when a suspected alien species visited our planet and left their mark on 6 confirmed locations across the globe along the 43rd parallel. The event was over just as soon as it started, and left hundreds of thousands dead, displaced, or worse. The world outside of the impact areas was, and is still, very much in the dark as to the zones and their various artifacts. The purpose for the visit is currently unknown and never likely will be. However, there are several competing theories as to what intent these visitors had. It is very likely, however, that the visit had no greater purpose for humanity, and the visitors were simply stopping during a longer journey, leaving behind various pieces of trash and baubles. Just as we would after a roadside picnic, leaving behind empty bottles, a forgotten radio, and so on. These pieces of trash and baubles, colloquially known as artifacts or swag, however, have profoundly changed our world in the fields of science, technology, and medicine. Not to mention the plethora of potential military applications. In response, the UN created the IEC, Institute of Extraterrestrial Cultures, but you probably know it simply as the Institute. They are tasked with securing all zones aside from Zone China, and have significant social, economic, and political influence in their areas of control. Then again, the Institute's presence in each zone varies and are motivated by differing factors. Please reference your provided documents for further details. Many of these artifacts break our fundamental understanding of physics, such as unlimited power sources, bracelets that improve the wearer's vitals, wish-granting spheres, etc. As expected, these marvels have created a market of prospective clients who will pay handsomely for anything Stalkers dredge out of the zone. Now, actually getting your hands on them, that's a different story. For all the bad that can be said of the visitors and what they left behind, they at least knew how to keep it all contained. As fortunately for the rest of society, nothing ever seems to come out of the zone. Nothing that wasn't carried out, that is. As for these impact sites, that is, these forbidden zones, they are just that, forbidden. The Institute has established borders to contain the zones, often manned with armed personnel, most heavily near border cities that could not be abandoned due to their industrial or economic significance. Sneaking past the border guards is just the first step of your journey, however, but may just as well carry extreme risk depending on your approach. You need to plan how, when, and where you will cross the border before heading out on an expedition. The same goes for your exit. As for the zone itself, many people, especially seasoned stalkers, will be able to feel the moment they cross into the zone. Contained within the zones are deadly quasi-chemicals, mutated creatures, and anomalies that break the laws of our physical world in ways that even top researchers hardly understand. The only observable commonality is that they are all hazardous in one way or another. Some may easily be avoided with the right equipment, while others will leave only a black stain where a person once stood. Navigating these anomalies will be your main obstacle, and you must rely on various maps, both aerial photos and hand-drawn, as well as crucial landmarks to safely navigate your expedition. Furthermore, these anomalies can be static, staying comfortably in one place, or dynamic, moving in a set pattern or completely at random. They may also activate and deactivate or morph over time. Moving at night or without a clear route is therefore almost certainly lethal. Many of these anomalies have been classified, but most are unknown, with varying attributes that may be deduced by a skilled stalker. Speaking of stalkers, i.e., you, are considered petty criminals and outlaws. Befitting, if you ask me, as those were the first people to enter the zones following the visit to plunder the abandoned towns and villages. Lambs to the slaughter, many leaving behind only various tatters of clothing and various stains that serve as markers for more skilled adventurers. But the first true stalkers, the first wave of skilled explorers, ex-soldiers, and first responders that entered the zone for a myriad of reasons, were heralded as heroes and modern-day Wild West outlaws for the first few years. However, that was then, and this is now. After the knowledge of the mutations, rumors of the cursed, and other horrors of the zone seeped out, the world at large became somewhat soured on stalkers. The Institute attempts to keep morale up as it still retains the services of stalkers under both legal and illicit means. Similarly, the Institute was initially seen as a force of good, shielding the world from the evils of the zones. However, the various scandals such as human rights abuses, illegal experimentation, research lab accidents, and the near-complete amnesty they operate with has painted a very different image in the public's eye, especially in the minds of stalkers. As for you, you are a competent stalker, which means you have some set of skills or attributes that make you effective in the zone. I have included a self-evaluation sheet for you to fill out. This will describe who you are as a stalker. Although we are anonymous, using only nicknames to identify ourselves, we are a rare breed. There are only around 1,000 stalkers operating around the world at any given moment. Nearly half are members of various sub-organizations. For this reason, it's important for those trying to make a name for themselves to be classified for the various entities looking to employ the services of dependable stalkers. That being said, under no circumstances should you share this information with anyone freely. You are a part of a booming criminal enterprise that is extremely lucrative. You should be stashing money, equipment, and swag often. Keep one eye over your shoulder at all times. All right. On your sheet, you must provide your life history and the abilities it shaped, as well as the various drawbacks those experiences ingrained in you. You may be able to gain new abilities or lose them. This is true for drawbacks as well. From these abilities, you'll be able to determine your attribute score. This score might seem meaningless on paper, but each individual point of an attribute score can mean the difference between life and certain death in the zone. Please also provide your current funds and anything else you feel would better build your profile as a stalker. If you would like me to forward your self-evaluation sheet to the Institute as well, please enclose the required transfer fee. Ultimately, your chances of survival in the zone are not determined by the fancy sensors the eggheads at the Institute use, or by the superstitions of the deranged stalker you may see rolling dice. No, it is determined by the sum of all your individual parts as a stalker. The various challenges you will face in and out of the zone, may that be drunkenly fighting an opponent in a border town bar, or navigating a treacherous anomaly, are just that, challenges. How you, as a stalker, amount to these challenges is determined by two things. The first and fundamental aspect is thinking. In the zone, nothing is done without thinking first. You should have a clear objective in mind and how you will accomplish it. Further, your idea has to be in line with who you are as a stalker. A stalker's nature is crucial to their success. Going against who you are as a person can have serious consequences. An idea's quality combined with how organic the means you go about accomplishing each objective will determine how you fare against any challenge. To put it in rough quantitative terms, if you want to get fancy, the boys at the Institute have developed a theory called flow. They say that an individual stalker's ability to overcome challenges can be determined by the merit of an idea combined with the same data you provided on your self-evaluation sheet. Not so trivial now, is it? The quality of an idea and how accurately it conforms to your character are each scored 1 to 5 points. Your drawbacks will also affect your chances independently. Continuing with the formula, you then add a single point to either score individually if you possess an appropriate attribute for the idea, or accuracy to character. These two values are then multiplied for a maximum total of 36 points, which is then compared to the challenge's difficulty score. As for the challenges a stalker faces, they can be rated between 5 and 30 points at 5-point intervals, i.e. 5, 10, 15, etc. It's not like you'll ever know what the exact score is, but use your best judgment. Beating information out of an already crippled stalker is barely a challenge compared to a meat grinder anomaly. If all else fails, you can always rely on your attributes, burning roughly 1 point for the strain it causes on you. At the end of the day, however, the zone is a very deadly place, and the borderlands that surround it are no less forgiving. All right. I'm tired of talking. I need to get back to business. Good luck, happy hunting, and always remember the words that every stalker should know by heart. If you come back with swag, it's a miracle. If you come back alive, it's a success. If the patrol bullets miss you, it's luck. And as for anything else, that's fate. Transmission over.